Hello, welcome to the No Way Jose podcast. Today we're continuing our talk on who the fuck are the West Memphis Three. I am being joined again by Jacob of the Rise to Liberty podcast. We're on part 4 this time around. Last episode we're more in the he said she said type stuff. Today we'll be delving into the physical evidence. So I look forward to seeing you guys in the show. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and hit that bell for notifications so you can see when I drop new episodes and when I'm going live. We'll see. Welcome back to the show, Jacob. Pleasure to have you. I know I see you every week, but it's fun to do this with you as well. We're getting back into the West Memphis Three. Like I said in the intro, last episode we were going to the he said she said, and today, which is damning stuff all on its own. You know, we almost don't even really need the physical evidence here, but obviously we're gonna get down to brass tacks today and go into the actual physical evidence. You know, the legit shit. The what, kind of show me the receipts, show me the facts, kind of go into the physical stuff today. So you kind of, I guess, take it wherever you want. I don't know if there's any sort of, stuff you want to lead off the conversation with, that's on you. But we kind of insert in here wherever you want. We're on part 4. We're gonna stop holding your hand as much along these. We're 3 deep. Sorry, it kind of is what it is at this point. You need to know the characters, yada yada. So yeah, it's first 3. It is what it is. I'll help you out, but here we are. We're 4 deep. So yeah, wherever you want to go into it.
So honestly, I think one of the best ways to kind of start this off is kind of addressing kind of like what we were talking about at the beginning, is some of the criticisms, because this is one of the largest criticisms, because go figure, that's pretty much like all this case is, when you discuss it with people outside of polite society, I guess. But one of the largest claims, like for people who claim innocence of all three men, I keep wanting to call them boys, and I don't know why, other than the fact that they were boys at the time. But they're fucking gross, terrible men now. So I actually have a list of arguments, and we're going over those. I'm working on all of those and everything, but we're going to start with the no physical evidence claim. So the typical claim from people who claim innocence is that there is no DNA, no fingerprints, no murder weapon, no physical evidence linking Damien, Jessie, or Jason to the crime, and that the case was built entirely on coerced confession or, just made up hysteria about satanic panic. Because largely, that is a good portion of the prosecution's case. It really kind of hinges on Jessie Misskelley's confessions. That's a huge part, but it is a lie that there is no physical evidence. It's just a flat out lie. There was plenty of evidence, and let's see, I should have had this brought up beforehand, but I didn't even think about it like an asshole.
Any such cases. myself included. Not a shot at you. I do that all the time. It's a common thing. You're like, oh no, I could easily grab it, but I don't want to do it on the fly. I guess, take your time. If you want to grab something, that's fine. But yeah,
so the thing I'm going to pull up is it's actually the website that has like all of the evidence, all the crime scene photos and everything, all of the case documents, like everything. I don't know who put together this website back in the day, but whoever did a very good job. Although, times have changed and it looks like a 90s website. So that does kind of suck in that aspect. But the rest of it is great because of the information. Now, let's see here. Confessions. Let's see, are we there? Do I have it? No. So what's interesting is that people will argue that there is no evidence. And like I said, it's just a flat out lie. There is evidence. So like I said, the claim is there is no DNA, no fingerprints, no murder weapon, no physical evidence linking Damien, Jessie, or Jason to the crime. The case is built entirely on coerced confessions, satanic panic hysteria. And like I was telling you off camera, I was watching the documentaries again. I watched Paradise Lost, the first one, just today. And one thing that they kept arguing, the people on the men's side, the Damien, Jessie, and Jason, anyone on their side kept arguing that the reason the police did this was because, a month after the murders, they couldn't find anybody. And so they needed to hurry and blame it on somebody before the police started losing their jobs. And that's not even close to what happened. You talk to the police and, well, you can even just independently look at the way that the investigation went. And you can just see that they're starting to zero in. At the very first of the month, I mean, they were clueless. They had no idea. They had zero clue, like how they were even going to begin this. And then as the month went on, you can see from the stories that they kept getting, from all the evidence that they were able to gather once the medical examiner's report came back in, and all of these other things started falling into place. It all started pointing one direction, or I guess 3 directions. And then during the time that this was happening, there were instances of, like, for instance, Damien Echols. He was out in public bragging about committing these crimes. One of the most famous examples is him at a softball game, I believe, and there were 4 or 6 girls that overheard Damien blatantly say that he murdered those 3 boys and that he was going to kill somebody else before he went and turned himself in. So, I mean, it's pretty damn gnarly, if you're asking me. And so, let's see here. Damn it, I can't find this. So, I don't understand exactly why everyone says that there's no physical evidence, though. Maybe because the DNA hasn't worked out for them, or I don't know. But
which we were talking before in the DNA being the time period that kind of doesn't help here a whole lot. So being as was the early 90s,
right? So I mean, to address that before we get into like what the physical evidence is, so let's just like address why physical evidence is limited to begin with, because it is not the cornerstone of the case, flat out. Like it's not. There is DNA evidence, but there's not a whole lot of it, not like there would be in a case today. So first and foremost, why there is not like huge amounts of physical evidence, or the evidence is limited. The crime scene, first of all, was a forensic nightmare. It was literally out in the woods on the side of a drainage ditch, water bank. So you've got water where the crimes were basically committed. You've got the bank, which is all mud after rain, and because of the thrashing around of the water during the attack. Then you've got foliage everywhere, because for anyone who doesn't remember, this is the murders were committed in an area called Robin Hood Hills. It's like basically it's a drainage ditch for the Mississippi River, but it only floods in the early seasons when the Mississippi is swollen after melted snow and everything, or after a rainstorm. So this is not a permanent water structure. There's not always water in it, but it is there. It's used typically by farmers, like further up from where these crimes were committed. But I mean, it's tons of trees and bushes and all sorts of stuff, but it's a perfect place for kids to go hang out, kids of all ages. I could imagine myself playing in there, like fuck, dude, let's go play some army, or like whatever it may be. Like, it's
probably
honestly
a great place to catch frogs and stuff. It sounds like it'd probably be a boggy little area. Yeah,
right. And
so perfect for little boys. Honestly, that's the sort of shit I used to do.
Yeah, exactly. And it was still close enough to like home that like you're not out in the woods, but it did, from everything I can tell, the way that it was like set up, it did seem like you were out there, because there was like a bunch of overhang and you were kind of like in it. So you kind of disappeared, even though you were just right there in the city. So honestly, it's pretty fucking cool. But that outdoor crime scenes are a nightmare for forensic, period. Especially, once again, this is 1993 when the crimes take place. So DNA evidence, it exists, but it's like very precursory. It's very, it's in its infancy. So there's not a whole lot, at least compared to today, that they could do with the DNA back then. So it's like, even if they collect it, what are we going to do with it? Like, the thought is not, hey, let's collect what we can, how we can, and then maybe 20, 30 years from now, we'll get an answer. Like, that's not the thought process. Now, another reason why physical evidence is extremely limited, even though the people that claim innocence, they will argue against this as well. I don't know why, but the bodies were submerged in water for at least 18 or more hours.
Yep, that fucks your evidence.
Right. That almost destroys all of it. What's crazy is that even in the documentary, the first one, they kept mentioning, they meaning the defense, kept mentioning how there was no blood at the scene. There was no blood at the scene. No blood at the scene. Yes, there was. There was definitely blood at the scene. And this is what I was trying to pull up that website for, which I think I might have to. Well, I know I have it somewhere, obviously, but there are pictures, crime scene photos of the luminol testing. And it's like, okay, if there was no blood anywhere, like they said, then there would be absolutely nothing that glows. Imagine that. Luminol only works if there's blood.
Yeah. I was just about to. I didn't mean to. I was just about to tell the audience, hey, just if you forgot, or you don't know, that's what luminol is. But yeah, go on. Sorry.
Right. Yeah. So it is. It's meant to basically spot a place where blood was or were at one point. Now, there are ways to get around this, obviously. Like, if you cleaned something with bleach, it's most likely not going to come up. However, the luminol today, there's no fooling it. Even with bleach, I mean, if there was blood there at some point, it's going to glow, period.
Yeah.
Like, That's just how it is. But even outside, after a thunderstorm, and I think it was like 2 or 3 days later after the bodies were found, they did the luminol testing, and they were still able to get the amount of glowing that they did. Let's see. Oh, shit. Here it is. Okay. I found it. Imagine that. Yes, continue to cite, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. So, let's see. Yeah, outside is terrible for physical evidence. Bodies were submerged in water for 18 plus hours, and DNA degrades rapidly, like very rapidly. Let's see, what the hell? Oh, there it is. So these are a couple of issues. Another issue is that this is literally a muddy drainage ditch, you know, like, and then also like, what are you even looking for? I had just barely mentioned that there was a rainstorm just right before this. So they literally had, I think it was like 2 solid days of rain to deal with. That's washing away all the evidence. And also it's hard to know what you're missing if you don't even know what's there to begin with.
Yeah, exactly.
So you have these issues. Now another one of the biggest issues, I think this is the biggest issue, is scene contamination. Once again, 1993. This is West Memphis, Arkansas. So we're not talking like a super well-funded police department like, I don't know, Manhattan, you know, some of the precincts in New York, or like Beverly Hills, you know, it's like, and that's not a knock at their policing. It's literally just because they don't have the funding. So they're not going to have officers with the training in mind to be like, oh shit, this is a crime scene. Literally don't fucking breathe or fart because like you could screw something up. I mean, these guys were walking all over the place. I mean, there's video of it. You can find out there. So who knows what they destroyed just by simply trying to do their job. They didn't have the protocol and at the time that we do now, which that was the word I was looking for. Also, the deliberate cleanup by the perpetrators. Now, it's not a perfect cleanup, but even Jesse admitted in his confession that he tried to clean it up. So, I mean, that's going to be part of it. Let's see. So the other part of it, the 93 DNA technology limitations. Oh, and lastly, evidence not being stored properly. Once again, this is 1993. So like, as frustrating as it is, because we should have the evidence. We should, like we did at one point, but we don't now because DNA degrades over time. So here's all the limitations of why, okay? This kind of just points at everybody because it's not really any one person or one group's fault for why we don't have evidence. It's kind of just a sign of the times. It's kind of, you know, limitation on technology. The police kind of screwed up. The criminals tried to clean up their mess. I mean, it's all pretty standard stuff as far as evidence gathering and the reason for the lack of evidence.
Yeah.
So these are definitely something to keep in mind as we're going through this. Now, let me see if...
Or the previous episodes we've done, keep those in mind, because, I mean, we've, between all the different confessions and all the different, literally the stuff you got just out of interviewing people, it's like,
right.
Yeah, we may not have physical evidence, but, I mean, we do have physical evidence, obviously, but, like, we may be scant, perhaps. That might be one way some views it, but with the totality of evidence, it's pretty overwhelming.
Right,
so, yeah. Before we even get to, that's without even including physical evidence, really. So, right. Yeah.
Let's see here. Let me bring up some of these photos real quick so I can just point them out. Okay, come on. There we go. Okay, so once again, keep in mind these are 1993. And then for the audio listeners, I don't know what you're gonna do. I'm just kidding. I'll figure something out. But these are the luminol photos. So, um, I mean, this it's frustrating because these are, photos from 1993. So it's like, but here's the thing. It's like basically a bunch of blackness surrounded by what looks like, I don't know, shimmers off of a water or like dust in an old dusty room or something.
Little white dots. I mean, it's glowing. I mean, we don't really need to, I guess, explain this for the audio.
Right.
They're just going to miss that. Sorry.
Right.
We're
Right.
looking at luminol stuff. You can imagine what we're seeing. You can feel in there's brightly lit things somewhat. I mean, it's like
Right.
yeah. But
So, I mean, if you put yourself in that position though, and think about like if it's glowing this much on camera, dude, this is insane for how much should not be there. Like it's wild, and it's kind of hard to tell that I keep switching photos, but all of these are different. I mean, there's over 12, I think, is what. Yeah, there's 12 luminol case files or case photos, and I mean, dude, it's glowing. It is glowing bright. So where they did the investigation, I mean, this stuff is everywhere. Now, once again, this is after rain for 2 days, and this is also after the killers tried to clean it up. So they're splashing water on the banks. Jessie Misskelley, in one of his confessions, said that he took some leaves and tried to do like the zigzag pattern and like sweep it away, and it's still like this. So I mean, I can't even imagine how bloody the scene actually was at the time. Let's see here. So it also provides. Oh, okay. So here, this is actually, I'm glad they included these. So these are the area, just for reference, in which they would have done the luminol testing. So this is the crime scene. I mean, nothing really to see other than just this is where they did the testing, and that's why they included this. Let's see, that's reference 1, reference 2, 3, and
whoa. So this is where the murders. I mean, I don't know if exactly,
yes.
but because something about that bottom photo, that one's kind of creepy. That does kind of look like if you and your boys were to do some satanic chant, I don't know, ceremonies or something in the woods. That is, I don't know. It is kind of a natural little. It's like one of those. It almost looks like it has the undergrowth that you might see in some weird, gnarly forest areas.
Right.
Maybe it's the shadows playing tricks on me, but it kind of almost looks like one of those, almost like a slightly uprooted tree type thing. That might just be the shadows though. But either way, it's kind of a interesting little spot.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it is incredibly interesting where they were. So yeah, this pisses me off. That bottom one is
Is that an aerial? Is that an aerial photo on the bottom? Is that what that is?
No, it's like spun like sideways. So yeah, if you like spin your head, yeah, I don't know why they did that, but that's fucking stupid. So let's see. So here is where the top photo, anyways, is where I think it's Christopher Byers was found. But nonetheless, I mean the photos that I had just previously shown, I mean, out there, nothing should be glowing.
So, real quick, we're looking at a little stream right there, right?
Right. So this.
So I know a big component of this is leaving the body, and so it was literally like a shallow, like or thin little stream that we're talking about here. I don't know. Something about that makes it even darker, more demented. I don't know, because it's kind of the idea of like almost drowning someone in a puddle type thing. Like I don't know. Obviously, it's the same idea, but something about it, in such a small body of water, kind of makes it all the more weird and fucked up.
So when they were found, I mean, they were found submerged, two of them. The reason why they were found is because, for one, I think their bikes were found, their shoes were found floating. But one of the boys, I believe, like came up out of the water, and that's when they knew. And so the police officers went in and drained all the water. And well,
there's got to be deeper areas than the way you just described it, other than just what we were looking at, because it kind of looked like one of those little shallow stream spots. So, because otherwise, like the body of water we were just looking at, like the body would be very, very obvious. Like there was no way that was any more than like maybe a foot and a half deep.
So the deepest spots in this drainage ditch when it's full, so during the springtime or during the rain season, the deepest spots are 8 feet.
Okay.
So I mean sense, it's like it has been used for like a swimming hole. It's like at least that's what people say. So let's see. In fact, I know. Yes, I actually do have some different photos just to kind of show exactly what is going on here. Let's see. Wait, right here. Damn it. There's so many. There's just so much stuff, honestly. Let's see pictures. Here we go. Let me just get these pulled up real quick. Remove that. But I mean, the point is like there shouldn't be any luminol that glows out here, right? But this is one of the arguments, is that there was no DNA. And it's like, that was a fuck ton of glowing DNA, like, okay, so here is when it was filled. There's one of the boys' hats and one of the boys' sneakers just floating in the water, and this is how it was found. So, I mean, this is deep.
Okay.
This is
so
deep ass water.
Fairly deep. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's see. So here's some different mud, like the mud tracks where the crime scene was. Them marking out the path of people walking. I'm not quite exactly sure what this is, other than the fact that it is a tree. I can't tell if it's...
Looks like spray painted.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Here's a little bit better picture of the actual stream itself. There's a couple of pictures here where... let's see. Okay, so this is drained all the way. This matches up with one of the other photos. So the water would have been like maybe 3-4 feet here, like fully loaded. Let's see. This is on the bank. Okay, so this is also one of the like well-known spots. You would have to cross this to get into Robin Hood Hills, and this is like a drainage pipe or something right there. This is actually one of the only things that are still at this location. And one of the famous photos is of the police recovering their bicycles and setting the bicycles on this little pipe thing. Let's see, that's okay. Okay, here's kind of, so that's how tall they had to stack the sandbags to block the new water coming in. So if that gives you kind of like a reference of kind of like the size in which we're dealing with here.
Well, this was upstream, probably where it was more shallow and they could block it off a little bit better. But yeah,
right. Well, and I mean, so this is where the bodies were found.
Well, so, I meant like I'm saying the where they sandbagged it off may not be the greatest indication of, to what degree the depth of the water, because there's going to be, it's blocking it off down further like right up. You know what I mean? That's not really giving us a good visual indication. But yeah. Anyways,
Well,
so it was just a throwaway comment.
Right. So, I mean, where the bodies were found was more than deep enough for the bodies to be submerged for 18 plus hours. So, that is just kind of like what we're dealing with.
Okay. Well, it looks like it gets bigger, deeper, and so I didn't know if like because we saw the smaller stream at one point. I was like, oh my god, did they drown them in like a shallow stream? Like, something feels more morbid about that. It's okay. So their spots was like 8, so it's a legitimate like stream that has smaller, and like I don't know. I've played in areas like that when I was a little kid, and like you'd be like, oh, here's the deep part of the, and oh, here's a little, it's like just a little trickling here, just kind of follow the stream, and yeah, different parts of the stream you'll have different, like little whatevers to it. So, but yeah.
But where the bodies were found was, it's not one of the 8 feet parts. So it's literally 3, 4, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe. So deep enough that they had to literally dam it up on both sides and pump it out so they could get all the evidence and everything. But yeah, there we go. There's a guy standing in it, right? Like, it's up to his knees.
Brackish water too.
Right.
Well, to be fair though, they've drained it and they've done stuff to it, so it may have made it gross on their own accord. So I don't know. Yeah.
This is also coming out of the Mississippi, which is also very muddy water. So because I actually went and pulled it up on Google Maps or Google Earth, and I went and traced it all the way back to the Mississippi River, and it's actually not that far. I thought it was like way more inland. Not really. It would get filled almost directly with river water. So the water going into it is pretty much murky like this. But anyways, so this does give just kind of an idea of like what we're dealing with here. So it looks like where the bodies would be about just like right at crotch level for your average height man. Now they were found with their bodies were submerged, and there was something heavy placed on all of them to sink them down to the bottom. They never intended for them to be found, obviously. But also this is like kind of a dumb site to do this at.
Yeah. You say they were dead to be found, but it's like, they didn't really try all that hard, or I guess they were just that dumb. Because, I guess it might work for a little while, but it is like, hell, I don't know the stream well, but I assume during the dry season, or even just the fact that it's just a small stream, like,
right.
Yeah, some parts are 8 feet deep, but it's not like a lake or something in the middle of a lake.
Right. And this is a place where all sorts of local people go, like not just little kids, like this was apparently a place for teenagers as well. And maybe this lends to the type of people that live in this town, but apparently some older adults going in crushing a fucking sixer is not out of the realm of possibilities to see down there. So there was enough traffic. They were going to be found no matter what. That's partially why I think, in my opinion, that this was like a ritual murder. Because the point was to eventually see the brutality. Look at that. Like the shoes, the first picture I shown was just the shoe just sitting in the water. It's like, you didn't really have the intent of getting away with the murder if you didn't really give a shit about cleaning up the place that much, Yeah. So that is kind of what we're dealing with here.
It's a scene, yeah.
Right. Let's see. So the actual physical evidence. Let's see here. I've got a list. So I guess since we're dealing with a crime scene right now, we'll just keep going with that. We'll finish that up. Okay, so we got the luminol revealed the blood patterns matching Jesse's cleanup description in his confessions. There were also sticks and branches that were found. Part of Jesse's confession, if anyone remembers from that episode, he discussed how they beat the little boys. So that was one of the things that they did to the little boys, and like part of the confession was that Jesse went after Christopher Byers. I think he ran after one of them and caught up with him, which is why the third boy was further downstream, about 30 feet away from the other two, which is consistent with what Jessie Misskelley confessed to. He said that one of the boys took off running. Jesse went after him and caught up with him and struck him with one of the sticks. So they did find the sticks. And the way that we know that they are them is because there's DNA evidence on them. Let's see here. Pull these up real quick. Okay, and these are the sticks. So we know for a fact that these are the sticks that the boys got beat with. We also know that these are the sticks because they also match the wounds. So
they're not even cool sticks.
Not really.
No. I was expecting to be like, I know that sounds lame, but you know what I mean? Like dudes, you see a cool stick, you're like, that's a cool stick. They're like, I don't know. I guess I just felt like they'd be significant, but no, they're pretty lame sticks.
No, I mean these kids are not that creative. No. Just got to be honest, you know. But yeah, look at that. I mean, they're just wampum sticks.
One of them's like a switch. That's like that's not meant for actual like legitimate damage. That's just meant for torture.
Right. Yeah. So I don't know who the hell was holding that one, but some sick bastard, that's for sure.
Like the thumper's there, yeah, you can do damage, but the little guy, you're not doing any serious damage. You're just really, really, really hurting him. Right. That's it. You're just making it sting.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So here's some physical evidence. So when people say there's no physical evidence, yeah, there is. There's actually, I mean, there's not a whole lot. There's 9. What do they call that? Not pieces, but it's 9 exhibits of physical evidence. So, and that's not a whole lot. I mean, if you look at something like, I don't know, take almost any other case, and there's always way more. So let's see, close that real quick. So there are the sticks. And like I said, they do match the wounds on the body. They match what Jessie Misskelley said in his confession. So far, you know, they've got weapons. Let's see, stick and branch evidence consistent with blunt force trauma. They also have the shoelaces. One lace longer than the other didn't come from the victims. So they found the victim's shoes. All the shoes, all the 8-year-old's shoes still had their shoelaces in them. Not all the shoelaces were there with Jesse, Jason, or Damien. So I assume they were Jesse's and Jason's, though, because apparently Damien had a pair of like combat boots. And apparently he was like in love with these things. He even went out of his way to save up money to get a pair of combat boots. And he just like wore them and took care of them religiously. So I can't imagine he's going to be like, yeah, sure, take my shoelaces. Also, he's like the leader of this gang. He's not going to do that. He's going to tell his minions. So now I'm not going to show the pictures of the shoelaces. That's when we get into like, you know, the photos of the boys. And I mean, if you guys really want to see them, you can find them. They're not that hard. I don't recommend it personally. It's not super important to the context of any of this. So, you know, but I get it. Some people want to see. So if you want to see, find them. I'm
assuming you said the bodies were there. I mean, I guess we could for a moment if there's anything slightly significant. I don't know if there's anything significant about the state of bodies that you remember offhand. I mean, I don't like looking at sort of dark shit either, but you said it was only in there for like 18 hours, so it wouldn't even be like the bodies would be like bloated or anything weird, I'd assume. I mean, maybe a little bit of grossness, but so I don't, I mean, if you know offhand if there was anything slightly significant, I guess, or if you want to describe the scene of the bodies were in. I don't know if it was very apparent bruising, yada yada, or I don't know if there's anything you felt like you could glean from you viewing it. So without having to have my audience go look at the snuff porn.
I mean, there's not necessarily anything from like seeing the boys themselves that would, so it's not like certain other cases, like for instance Delphi. Like it's rather important to see the crime scene photos themselves to kind of get like the overall impression and feeling, and there's like information that's important to the overall understanding of the case to get that can only be seen like in the crime scene photos, right? With this, it's not necessary. Let's see, I'm trying to see if there's any we can pull up real quick without them being like, oh shit, that's the body of an 8-year-old boy that's like super nude and, had his penis removed.
That's nice. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It was basically, like skinned, really horrible. Let's see. Let's see, photos, maybe miscellaneous photos. Let's see. A bunch of the truck wash, bunch of different directions of Robin Hood Hills, overpasses. See, the buyer's backyard. I don't know why that's there. See, maybe some of the stills from the movie. Oh, damn it. Those are all gone. Well, that's lame.
Well, we can move on. We don't. I mean, if there's not, you said before there wasn't anything too significant. So I just was like, wanted to, not wallow too much in it. But if there's anything, take a moment to like, if there's anything you could recollect of, just even just the state of the bodies or anything. But they were probably laying around in the water, so I don't really. There's the state that they were in is probably not really exactly the state they were left. I mean, so like even some of the damage and stuff, you probably wouldn't be able to make out as well. So I don't know. There may not have been anything significant. I just wanted to ask you before we moved on, if you recalled anything. So
yeah, not like I said, not as far as like the understanding of the case. I mean, it is interesting. They wouldn't have been able to do it, like put together a good prosecution's case without them. But for our purposes, I mean, there's not really there. It's not going to really change whether you see them or not. Is the point? I mean, I'm fascinated with crime scene photos too. I mean, I started young too, which is probably not the best, but hey, whatever. Let's see. As we keep moving on, there is a part of a video that we can kind of have playing while I move on. Let's see here. So at the very beginning of Paradise Lost is literally just like nothing but like an overview, I guess, of like the town and everything. Let's see. Here we go. So I do recommend anyone go watch the first documentary. You can find it out there for free. If you do rent it, I think it's only like $2.99 on Prime or whatever. Now, see, there's the bikes. That's, like I said, one of the famous pictures and this was, at the time, it was shown all over the news. Like, it was wild. This is like the clip. So yeah, this is the police crime scene video. This is literally how the documentary opens. Is with this showing where the water was, showing them pumping out the water. Also, the boom, all of a sudden, crime scene. Like, it's super graphic. I can't believe they opened up a documentary like this. Got your attention, though, that's for sure. So let's see here. Now, the shoelaces. There's nothing really like damning about the shoelaces other than the fact that they were tied. Jason and Jessie both had shoes that had those color shoelaces, and their shoes were missing one. The boys were tied in a very ritualistic way. They were tied from like left wrist to left ankle, and right wrist to right ankle, which is not typical. But that is extremely rare that they would be done like that. All of the knots were different on the boys. So that indicates, logically at least, that there would be multiple people. Multiple different types of knots means multiple people. The odds of one person being so unorganized that they would just like be like fumbling or whatever and tie like 4 different knots, it's pretty rare. It's like it would statistically never happen. You might get one person that ties 2 different knots, but 4 different knots, not going to happen. So it does indicate that there was more than one person. And just the fact that they were tied up with shoelaces to begin with is kind of, it's weird. But more material evidence that shows it was these 3. Yeah, I mean, they were missing shoelaces. So, and also Jessie Misskelley tried to give his brand new shoes away to Buddy Lucas. So, and I believe that's pretty much it as far as like the opening stuff at the crime scene. I do recommend people go watch it if it's, if this is a interesting topic to you. That is.
So we got stick, shoelace, body. What other physical evidence are we looking at here?
Let's see. So the other physical evidence we've got. Let's see. Okay, so we have a knife that was recovered from the lake behind Jason Baldwin's house. And this was actually used in the crime. Let's see here. Okay, the lake knife. This was also like a big fucking deal when this was found. Move that. So, there we go. Right? Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there. I mean, it was. Let's see. Yep. Okay, sorry. There's just like multiple things going on that. Okay, here we go.
Pretty kick-ass knife, honestly.
Right. It's very common in the late 90s or late 80s, early 90s for all sorts of little boys to have a survival knife like this, right? I mean, Rambo was huge, so it's not uncommon. And this dude, I actually looked into the diver that found the knife. That dude's a badass, so we'll have to talk about him at some point.
Pretty unique looking knife, though, so I feel like
right.
Probably very significant, the uniqueness of it.
Right. So now here, this is actually a crime scene photo of the bodies that actually do matter, especially in this context. So during the trial, this is Christopher Byers, by the way. This is his forehead. It's like right by his like eye socket, right below the.
Oh, I can see that's the
Yep.
hair we're seeing right here is the so it's like right here-ish, like
Right.
So you can see the brow coming through, and then you
Yep.
see his hairline up here on the top, on the kind of the top right hand corner.
Yep.
So
Yep. So when they during the trial, they believed that this was, or the defense believed that this was a bite mark. I don't understand how they do, because this is literally like less than 2 inches, right?
Yeah, it also doesn't have the something about the shape. It doesn't lend itself to being that to me.
Right. The prosecution said that somebody took the butt of that survival knife and boom, popped him one right in the head.
That makes sense. Which,
right,
I mean,
it's the perfect shape and everything.
Did it have a little thing on the pommel? Like on the the handle. Like it looks like because you had that weird thing in the middle. So I wish they didn't have that thing in the. I want to see the top. There we go. It's hollow.
So it had, it actually had, those knives used to have compasses.
Oh, so you think it's got like a broken compass on the bottom, that like because I used to have a thing that have it, and you can like break the glass on the bottom of it. So that actually, that right there was it, and he may have actually even broken it in the crime, and he tossed the piece that were out. So that like if anyone's ever seen the little compass inside, it actually has almost like a little pinpoint. So it actually would be the perfect little device to fucking. If you pop somebody and it fucking caught him right here, and you got right there, see that little middle piece? So yes, that would be that perfect little, and even then, like also the not. I mean, you might expect it to be a little bit more spherical, but that's actually a pretty good guess because also with that, there's a glass of the compass, so likely he would have broken as he did it. So you're not going to get that perfect circle of the pommel of it or whatever. But you'll still get that little piece which we didn't see it, but I'm sure he probably chucked it somewhere and they probably just didn't ever recover.
Right.
Or it probably just fell off on its own as he was beating the fuck out of these kids with it. So yeah, that would actually very much make sense to me.
Right. And I mean, this to me is what happened. It looks right. I mean, otherwise, why would they also know that, the knife was there to begin with? Why would that even matter if the knife wasn't used? And yeah, this is not a bite mark. In the documentary, there was, I don't know if they're still around, but since these 3 pieces of shit are out now, but there used to be a Free the West Memphis 3 group, and I mean these guys like dedicated their lives to it. Like holy hell. Their dedication, I've got to applaud, honestly. But they basically gave their entire lives to these people, and they got Damien another, not a trial, but they got him a hearing, basically to determine if the first trial that he went through, if his lawyers were competent or incompetent, which would eventually give him another chance at a trial. During that hearing, they brought in I can't remember what the hell they're called. I'm too retarded, but they a bite mark specialist, basically like a medical examiner that's going to know exactly, is this a bite mark, and if it is a bite mark, is it human or not human, and like all of these things. Okay, so a bite mark specialist, somebody they didn't have in the first trial. This guy, the first guy that they brought in from the state of Arkansas, said this is not a bite mark. So they got pissed. They brought in a second person. The second person said, no, it's not a bite mark. And then I don't know who brought this third person in, but they flew a doctor in from California, and the California doctor said, yes, this is a bite mark.
So is the idea here that obviously they're just not wanting to admit that belongs to the knife, because then the knife can be placed with the suspect or whatever. Yeah. So okay, just to make that point very clear. Yes. That's kind of, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. So, but which I guess they're trying to hope they can get away with. Oh, it's just coincidence that it happened to be in the area. you can't tie one to the other. You actually have to. So this is just playing a silly little game here. Got it.
That, and also they want the body, or they want the damage on the bodies to be anyone but these three boys or these three men. Like one of the arguments is animal predation, which means an animal bit the kids. Okay, because like when the kids came out of the water, their bodies were fucked up. Like, and fuck, I wish I had the crime scene photos now so I could kind of show it. But I mean, that there were all sorts of like abrasions, and like it looked like they got their asses kicked with those sticks that I shown. Like there was zero regard for their safety or well-being. And I mean, they had like lacerations and bruising and all sorts of fucked up damage done to their body. Now, the people who claim innocence, they keep coming in and trying to say, no, it was animal predation. So I actually even looked it up. I got into this whole argument with Grok, which, you know, arguing with the computer, whatever, but basically asked like, are alligator snapping turtles, are they native to that region? Yes, they are. Yes, they do frequent these style like drainage ditches. The one thing, they don't really move. So like they'll migrate a little bit, but they don't go out hunting. What they do is they just sit and wait for something to pass by. So we are forced to believe that if we go with the animal predation theory, is that these kids were, or the attack happens, turtle's not scared, comes back and just like attacks the bodies which are dead. That's not how turtles hunt. Also, when they drained the water, they didn't find a turtle. So, you know, then like all the medical examiners from the state of Arkansas that looks at this, even many outside ones that look at it for whatever reason, excluding this California one, has said, no, that's not a bite mark. That's anything but a bite mark. Like it's too small. You don't see the damage. You know, it's just crazy. So that's the next piece of physical evidence is the knife. And like I said, this was recovered from the lake behind Jason's house. Let's see. So this lake that this diver is in literally is behind Jason's trailer, the trailer that him and his mom lived in. Let's see, I thought I had a picture of it. Let's see, Damien's trailer. Fuck, it doesn't look like I have a picture of it, but I mean, yeah, there's a lake directly behind Jason Baldwin's house. So, I mean, why were they even like diving back there if it wasn't a thing, you know? Let's see here. So there's that. Now, the next piece of evidence. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay, so with the knife, there is a serrated top, which, let's see. Yeah, the serrated top of the knife, okay? That, oh, come on, is consistent with the wounds that was found on Stevie Branch's face. Come on. There they are. Okay, let me see if I can just find these real quick. Let's see. Let's see. Do you have any questions about any of this so far?
No, not particularly. I mean, I'm following along. I mean, I would say that you know, with the identifying, I'm assuming you're going to show like a cut and be like, they could tell it was serrated. I mean, I don't know, I guess maybe there's knife experts that can do it, but I'd say that's obvious. That'll actually, I would assume, would probably be less reliable than even like the pommel hit that we just saw, because that one's more like a unique type of like indentation that's left, whereas I don't know, you can tell when there's a cut from a serration just because it's like a rough. But I don't know how you'd really be able to distinctly tell what serrated sort of design to what knife. I mean, I don't know if they really have that sort of level of cut analysis. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it is a tearing, ripping motion, you know, so there is that. And of course, I think you need to definitely be trained in something like that to be like, what's the difference between a knife serration and like running into a branch that fucks me up the same way, you know? Um, so who knows? Let's see. Well, it looks like, luckily I'm kind of having issues finding the actual medical photos, which is what you would want.
That's fine.
Let's see. So now the compass is or was a point of contention for everybody during the trial, but it is consistent with everything like you had mentioned. Now let's see. This is interesting. I kind of forgot about this, but there was a witness, one of Jason's friends, who lived in the trailer park. Let's see where the knife was found. Like I said, behind his house, there was a friend in that trailer park who saw Jason's mom get pissed one day after the murders, and throw the knife into the lake. So, and this kid was, I mean, they basically, the police asked him just like, have you seen anything? And he said, yeah, I saw Jason's mom like throw something into the lake. And that's how they knew to go look in the lake. So yeah, I mean, why would that kid lie about that? Like that's like a weird thing to lie about.
Especially since it worked out right.
Right.
Like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So that's pretty much the knife evidence. Let's see. Let's see. Shoelace. Okay. Here's another thing. I actually don't think that there's any pictures of this. There might be. There was this is one of the weirdest pieces of evidence in my opinion, but on Stevie Branch's shirt was residue of blue candle wax. And this didn't even really matter until they went and searched Damien's home and found a blue candle. So let's see, I'm trying to find all of his photos because they were very thorough when they searched his house.
At that point, I assume you could literally tell if it is the same exact wax. I mean, like even
Right.
not just superficial color. Like you could do and be able to analyze like what's in this. I assume different brands make their candles slightly differently.
Right. Let's see. Here's some of the trailer photos. No, those are all outside. Like I said, this website is like a 90s website, so it does kind of suck like that.
You said they found wax on the body, though? Where was it on?
No. It was on the T-shirt.
On the T-shirt, okay.
Yeah, so why the hell would the wax even be there to begin with? Because the T-shirt was left at the crime scene.
Well, I was thinking like wax, some sort of ritual thing or something. But
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it is. So let's see. I should be able to. Okay. Let's see. Photo 241. Okay. 241, 243. Man, these photos have degraded over time. I think this is it. Let me double check real quick. Nope. Damn it. Clothing from crime scene. Yep. 243. No, tan shirt with black pattern. No, that's not. It's not right. Black shoes. No. No. Nope. Okay, so there's no photo of that. Let's see here. Damn. Let's see, it wasn't on Michael's clothing, was it? Pretty sure it wasn't. Let's go look anyways. Let's see. No, that's a wallet. No, it wasn't on Michael's. So yeah, it was definitely on Stevie's. But it doesn't look like they have any photos of Stevie's clothing on here. That is very strange.
I mean, I can just take your word for it. We don't have to see the picture. So we got wax on the shirt of one of the boys. What other? Go ahead.
They did find the candle at Damien, or in Damien's room, in his trailer. So, I mean, they did find, and they did match it. I'm not sure what they did to match it. That would be probably worth like looking into exactly like what they did. But I mean, within all fairness, I've never even bothered, looking into like what testing method or whatever. But then let's see here. So the blue candle wax on Stevie's shirt match candles from Damien's and Dominic's possession. So his girlfriend. Let's see here. So we've got that. And then now this one is the least important evidence in my opinion. Only because it's secondary transfer. And that's here or there, it's whatever. Which is a green fiber, a green polyester fiber that was found on Michael's Cub Scout cap, which matched one of Damien's t-shirts. There was also a red rayon fiber on a victim. It doesn't specify exactly who they found it on, but it matched Jason's mother's red like night robe or bathrobe. And so those were there. There was also a third secondary transfer piece of evidence that was it was like a beard hair that was found on Stevie Branch's shoelace, or the shoelace tied on Stevie, which is one of the things that they've used to point the finger at Terry Hobbs, one of the boys' father, because it matched the DNA of his hair.
The hair Pardon? DNA on his stepdad. I was just going to point out the obvious that, like, well, yeah, like it's not that crazy. Like
exactly.
Like if it's like something awful happened to one of my children, obviously, God forbid, like right now, they probably it wouldn't be that crazy if there's some of my like beard hair DNA on them or something.
Right. Exactly.
Like our clothes get mixed up in the laundry. Like they wear my shirts. They like. I mean, it's not like we exist in the same domicile. The wind. Right. Sometimes I scratch my beard and the wind hits it and it fucking. And it ends up some other place. Like, right. Such is the world.
Right. Exactly. So, but this is, some of the evidence that they use to point the finger at Terry Hobbs. So, the first documentary is like about the case and all this stuff. It's beautiful propaganda. The second one is them attempting to incriminate John Mark Byers, one of the other fathers. That didn't work. So the third documentary is an attempt to incriminate Terry Hobbs, the father whose beard hair was found on one of the shoelaces. And they were trying to say, like, look, it was Terry because his DNA was found at the scene. And it's like, but you guys don't understand DNA evidence, because basically what it meant is that when they tested the hair, the DNA results came back and said, basically, we cannot exclude Terry. But the DNA that they pulled from that matched Terry and also 1.3 million other people. So it's like, okay, so we can't exclude 1.3 million people. Like, awesome. But this is kind of just the fundamental misunderstanding of what DNA is, how it's tested, exactly what the results mean. This is largely just because of that. And people are kind of retarded and they don't know what they're talking about. So that's kind of that, which is why this other fiber evidence, I'm not saying it doesn't mean anything. But
we have a fiber evidence, or is that what you mean by beard evidence?
No. So
okay,
the fiber,
so we have a fiber now. We got a fiber.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. So this is what I was talking about. The green polyester fiber on Michael's Cub Scout cap that matched Damien's t-shirt. So they did find that on Michael's Cub Scout cap. Now, like I said, it's fiber evidence.
Yeah, it's like notorious for being planted.
Right. And also it's like, is there any other possible way that it could have been there? Like I don't know. Now, I do find it weird because the green polyester fiber did match Damien Echols' green t-shirt, but allegedly he wasn't wearing a green t-shirt that day. So, take that for what it is. Also, there was a red rayon fiber on one of the other victims. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say which victim they found it on. But this was a red rayon fiber, a very specific type of textile that did match Jason's mother's robe. So she had, and I don't know how they fucking found this out. I don't know why they would even like look at her robe or whatever. But they did look at her robe. They tested her robe, just like Damien's green t-shirt. And the red robe was rayon, which is strange. Why would any of the victims come in contact with Jason's mom? Jason wasn't friends with any of these little kids. So that is weird. Now, can you positively confirm that it, the green polyester fibers from Damien's shirt or, the red one came from Jason's mom's robe? I don't think so, in my opinion. So this is why I think it is the weakest bits of evidence, right? Like it just kind of doesn't matter. So there is that. Now, let's see. Here are or I guess it's really like the best evidence. Let's see. There was actually a video that goes along with this. So, let's see. It's on one of William Ramsey's old channels. I actually kind of found by accident, and I sent him a screenshot the other day, and I said, "Hey, is this actually your channel?" Because it did not look like his. Like most of his, say like William Ramsey, this or that. Not this one. This one was really weird. Let's see. But there's a video out there. Damn it. Okay, I know where to find it. Anyways, so the best evidence that exists as far as like DNA physical evidence that you could point to is literally a necklace that they took from Damien. This necklace, which is why I was trying to find this video, it is like a hatchet almost.
Oh, I feel like I've seen those weird, like, I think I might know what you're talking about. Like, kind of those like douchebag type things. But anyways, yeah, go on.
So, I mean, it looked kind of gothy, kind of, edgy, I guess. But this necklace, and once again, I'm not sure exactly how they thought about this or found the information or decided to do this or anything, but the necklace itself did have some blood on it. They ran the blood. Now, at the time, once again, this is 93, so the blood didn't like come back and be like, bam, it's one of the little boys. No, it came back, and there were two blood types. One matched Damien, and one matched Stevie. So, damn, that's now it's not like 100% hit. It's just the type of blood. So, how many people actually, have the same type of blood? So, like I said, it's not like a bam, we got him.
It's not dead ringer, yeah.
But also, like, what are the odds that he would have somebody of the same blood type on the same necklace? Not that long after.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, how many people does Damien have around him that are bleeding?
Yeah.
Because either way, we should probably look at this and stop it from happening. So, but it is the fact that the blood was the exact same type as Stevie Branch's is incredible. So what's interesting is that the blood is consistent with only 11% of the population because it's type O blood. So that actually works in favor of the defense because type O blood is some of the rarest blood in the world. Stevie had it. So it's like, I mean, if you can only test for the type of blood, that's about what you want because that's a pretty damn good way to narrow it all the way down that it was you or not you. So they had blood on there that matched Damien, which was not type O. And then they had blood on there that was type O. So what are the odds that Damien would have somebody else bleeding around him close enough that they would get the blood on the necklace that also happened to be type O? I mean, it doesn't make sense. The odds of that would have to be astronomical.
Mm-hmm. So we got blood on the weird little hatchet thing. We've got got sticks. We got the wampum sticks, a switch stick. We've got fiber evidence. I believe we got wax evidence. Some other. Is there anything else we're missing before we get out of here? What other pieces of evidence, or did we finish on what you thought was the strongest?
So the last piece of evidence is actually blood. Once again, type O blood on Jessie Misskelley's clothing. So, and once again, this matches, or it wasn't type O, it was, I said that because we were just talking about it. Okay, so he had blood. Jessie had blood that matched with Michael Moore's blood on his clothing. And of course, the police would want that because, well, there was blood on the clothing and there is very little physical evidence in this. So, and then you take that with what Jessie Misskelley confessed to, which was, Michael Moore tried to run. Jessie went after him and caught him and then beat him some more. I mean, you're bound to get some blood on your clothes. So, that is the two best pieces of evidence is that clothing and the necklace.
Well, all right. Well, it looks like we've covered the physical evidence for today. We'll come back with another episode soon. I think what the plan to do is, I guess I don't even know if it's worth even. I'm mentioning this now, but with the way I paywall stuff, by the time this comes out, we'll probably have already recorded the next one, so it probably won't matter. But I guess I don't know, patrons or whatever, or maybe if I end up dragging ass on or my paywall schedule gets thrown up, maybe that won't be the case. But me and you, I think, plan in the next one, and maybe we'll do it. I mean, we're getting a weird amount of comments for this series, and like people having questions, thoughts, whatever. So maybe we'll do another one after that. But because we may, depending on how many of these parts we do. But at least for the next one, I think we're probably going to kind of do almost like a frequently asked questions / addressing comments and questions type thing. So But yeah, with that, Jacob, where can people find you? We'll do this again here soon.
Yeah, the best place that people can find me is pretty much anywhere. Allmylinks.com/rise to liberty. Anywhere rise to liberty. So Twitter, Telegram, Instagram are my most active places. Of course, you can find me on YouTube, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute. You can find me on pretty much all the places, either at Rise to Liberty or at Rise to Liberty Pod. You can also find me at Beware the Mockingbird on Substack, which is going to be popping off here soon because I've got some fun stuff planned over there. It's supposed to be like a companion or a I guess a companion to what I have going on at Rise to Liberty, or it's going to be good enough that you can read it and follow along independently. You don't have to be a fan of Rise to Liberty, but if you are, it's just going to be an expansive bunch of awesomeness. So either way, but Beware the Mockingbird and at Rise to Liberty pretty much everywhere.
Hell yeah. Again, a whole expanded universe in the Rise to Liberty verse. But with that, guys, for those who want to support this show, leave a like, share, subscribe. Leave a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can find the show on YouTube, Rumble, all the major audio podcatchers, and Twitter as well, at Tower Gang Jose. And if you want to support the show the best way you can do that with money over at patreon.com/nowayjose2020. Got the QR code right there if you guys want to use that instead. That brings you on over to patreon.com/nowayjose2020. All the same. The lowest level is $2. That gives you access to early episodes. I do about 1 to 2 of these paywalled episodes per week. Try to keep about 4 on the paywall on a given time. And I give you guys access to early episode, or I give you guys access to the ad-free RSS feed, the Telegram, and pre-show, post-show, and video calls on me and Austin's weekly live call-in show, which is already dead, which is on Tuesdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. And the highest level of my sponsors, and I give them a big shout out every episode. At the end of the episode is a big thank you for their support. I have my previous co-host entire gang at Learn to Toad, also at Abrogate D's, at ZLVRCK, at _InvitZeal, Tim Tuttle, at Johnny Lynn Klebold, big fan of the show, Torme, at Wayne Taculus, One of Harry Car for Kids, No Free Lunch, Jack, Mark Vestibule, and Jacob Winograd of the Biblical Anarchy Podcast. With that, guys, we're going to get out of here. Love you all. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.